Hello everybody, welcome back once again to the Triangle Strategy walkthrough. Alright, so the last video there we took down Silvio and got a couple of weapon upgrade items. I got another silver, finally. And so I actually did upgrade Roland's spear. And then now I don't have any quality iron to upgrade any farther as of right now. So I'll probably have to do some farming, but I also did get the Azure Crystal. Actually, it's the same as Roland's. Yeah, Azure Crystal. So yeah, that's the first tier 3 weapon ingredient or upgrade ingredient, however you want to say that. So I did actually upgrade Serenella's. It's kind of seemed like a no-brainer. And I had the materials required to do the first upgrade was 2 superior irons, and I did have those as well. So that must have came from that last battle as well. So instead of going with the weapon damage up, which I don't know, I was really kind of contemplating that. I actually did go with the grant 1 TP to all allies within range. So it says usable in battle. So I don't know. I just figured that sounds kind of cool and kind of decent for some of the, especially for, it just feels like a lot of the casters, you know, like Narv and Izana. I'm sure there's others, you know, are always kind of starved for TP. And so, you know, I don't know. I guess, you know, we're not going to be able to get any damage out of Serenella for that turn, but it can kind of keep other people going, so I don't know, it seems interesting. And then I actually did take a look at Roland's spear upgrade, and I wasn't really all that impressed with that. It was just, you know, potency and then like luck times 3, and then what was the weapon skill? Man, I can't remember. I just wasn't impressed by it, so yeah, so not gonna go that route. But all right, let's. I also noticed there's no new mental mock battles yet, which is a bit of a shame. I really hate the chaos of battle. This was by far my least favorite of all of the mental mock battles. So I'm kind of like, you know, just waiting for another one to pop up in here. To do a little bit more farming, but we'll see. All right, so we're gonna leave, and I'm gonna continue on with the storyline. So. Alright, so here we're at Central Hyzant. The Roselle agreed to return to the source, leaving Sirona and the others with mixed feelings.
We survived. But what consequences must we now pay?
Worry not, my lady. I shall relay that Silvio died an honorable death in battle. Hyzant is unlikely to raise any questions, so long as we bring the Roselle back as promised.
Indeed. But we must not let Jerome or the others down. They've trusted their fates to us.
Of course. If that key they mentioned truly exists, then we can use it as leverage against Hyzant. After House Wolfort's position is secure, that is.
We must move faster than that. They cannot be forced to suffer for so long.
My lord, Lady Frederica, you have no cause to concern yourselves. I am the one who made the promise, so the responsibility falls upon my shoulders.
That isn't the problem.
A disgraceful trick.
Benedict, I appreciate your motives, but...
It is my duty. Leave the villain's role to me.
You misunderstand. Words must be followed by action and accepting responsibility. That is the Wolfort way. Is that not the very reason you defend our house?
My lord.
Whatever the case, we must first report to the palace. Let us discuss what we shall do after that.
The Holy One has made a decision. The Roselle have returned to the flock, and for that the goddess is pleased. Now they may begin to absolve themselves of their sins and gain true salvation. For your service in bringing this deed to pass, the Holy One has judged you worthy of a title most exalted. You are to be welcomed as one of the Saintly Seven.
That is quite the honor. While I cannot argue the courage of Lord Serenoa's deeds, I wonder if this elevation of station is premature.
Minister Exam, I seem to recall a time not long past when your detractors said the same in regards to you. However, you proved their misgivings to be unfounded, did you not? The Hierophant believes that for Hyzant to prosper, the young must be given the chance to build the foundation for the future.
Of course. My apologies for speaking out of turn.
I have no words to express my appreciation. The goddess may rest assured that I shall treat my new title with all the gravity it deserves.
The Saintly Seven are whole once more, and this marks a joyous occasion for all of Hyzant. May the goddess be with you.
So, have we earned the goddess's mercy?
More than that, in fact. I have been honored with a position as one of the Saintly Seven. After a trying journey, our worries are finally at an end.
That is heartening. The decisions we were forced to make to get here, I pray we never have to repeat them.
You have my word we never will, Frederica.
Good. Then let's return to Castle Wolford. Home at last.
It seems congratulations are in order, my friend. The future of your house is secured.
After much suffering.
That may be so, but you should still hold your head high. Not only have you protected those that serve you, but you have uplifted them to even greater heights.
Perhaps, but my rise to power was built on the sacrifices of many.
Those sacrifices were made purposeful by your judgment, Serenoa. You've grown to meet the changes fate has brought. Thinking back on the day you first met Frederica, I hardly recognize you now.
That day seems so far away now.
Would you go back if you could? Back to those carefree days?
I don't know.
I wouldn't. At first, I would awake every morning with a heavy heart. Images of the peaceful Glenbrook from my dreams lingering in my mind. It was all I could do to simply survive through the day. But our encounter with the Roselle made me realize something. I could no longer live in self-pity. To do so would be to invite a slow and insidious death. I had to make a stand. I had to act. I had to be ready to discard this mask once and for all. My friend, I have a request to make of you, selfish as it may be. Aid me in my fight against Esfrost. I want you by my side when I see the Archduke laid low.
Of course.
Right, let's check out this side story. At the Ministry of Medicine, Lailah informs someone of the Holy One's orders.
The Holy One has ordered for us to deliver our Elfric to House Wolfort.
And here I thought your research results to be top secret. What a curious turn of events.
Perhaps the Hierophant determined it a good chance to test them in the field. They could easily sink an Esfrosti's ship or two.
And yet I see not a trace of a smile on you.
I never wanted to build weapons for war.
Yet you don't think twice about toying with human life. How ironic.
How dare you!
Have a wonderful day.
The audacity of Edor's dog.
It's weird. It's weird to me that they haven't named that character yet. That's been a couple of times now where they, like, the dialogue doesn't reveal their actual name. Alright, so Serenoa and Roland, plan in hand, attend the Congress of Saints.
Now, let us commence the Congress of Saints. I believe Minister Serenoa had an issue to bring to the collective.
Thank you, Minister Edor. It concerns the trade embargo. This is a plain show of aggression from Esfrost. They mean to weaken us before they strike. That is why we must crush them before they do. I would ask for my pleas to be heard by the goddess.
This is not a matter to be taken lightly, my lord.
Esfrost's declaration was a surprise, to be sure.
But without Salt, Esfrost's people will suffer. If they refuse trade, we shall oblige them until they see reason. Let them have their futile posturing.
Apologies for my boldness, but I must urge you to treat this situation with gravity. The Archduke is no fool. There is doubtless an ulterior motive behind this embargo.
Is that so? Such as?
I believe his aim is to crush his enemies in one swift assault, just as in the Saltiron War.
Esfrost's army would again stoop to such skullduggery? As if our memories are so short. Esfrost and Glenbrook tried the same, at once declaring war and attacking our sacred city. But history remembers their failure.
They sacrificed their honor in vain, as their assault proved impotent against the goddess's shield. Defeat quickly followed.
Indeed, and Gustadolf's memory is as long as anyone's. He would not try again, unless he had a means to bypass the goddess's shield, which I believe now he has.
You cannot mean. They're explosives. The very technology researched by Dragan to aid in mining. I had never considered it could be used in warfare, but the idea is not beyond imagining.
I see. It is clear that to ignore this possibility would be folly. What measure would you suggest we take, Minister Serenoa?
I would bring the fight to Esfrost. Strike first while their plan is yet in its infancy. The Archduke is bold because he commands the strength of Glenbrook. If the Wolfort forces were to take the capital, he would lose that foothold and be forced to retreat. All I require is the leave of the Holy One.
A daring plan, Minister Serenoa. Let us suppose you did win back Glenbrook. Who then would rule over its people? Will you leave Cordelia, assuming she still lives, to sit on the throne as queen?
All reports indicate she is naught but a puppet of Esfrost. We would suffer her rule at her own peril.
And if House Wolfort were to assume the throne, they would be decried as usurpers.
A troubling complication indeed.
I believe I can present your solution. For you see, the second Prince of Glenbrook yet lives. And he stands before you now.
Impossible. Esfrost trumpeted your death across the realm.
Another deception, it would seem. There can be no mistaking those features.
I shall take the seat of power in Glenbrook and pledge allegiance to Hyzant.
Oh, would that every Council of the Seven were this eventful. For the Prince of Glenbrook to drive Esfrost from his ancestral home, I can imagine no greater justice. But what do you make of this, Your Holiness? Do you find Lord Wolfort's proposition to be a wise one? Understood, Your Holiness. Lord Wolfort, Prince Roland, the goddess has hearkened to your plea and has passed down her judgment. You are to have the full support of Hyzant and her people. Lay Estfrost low and drive back the discord that threatens to engulf Nozelia. If there is aught you require, you need only ask. Her servants are at your complete disposal. Grand Constable Roland, Lord Wolfort of the Seven, walk with courage and smite thine enemies. The goddess shall be at your back.
We shall bring her glory.
For Hyzant.
There is much preparation to be done. Together, we shall bring an end to Esfrost's hubris.
Alright, so a missive arrives from Sicris alerting Gustadolf to dangers back at home.
Are you certain it's wise to return to Esfrost alone, Your Grace? You are needed here.
If Sicris's missive is to be believed, I'm afraid matters are far too grave to be left to anyone else. Svarog's deception is nearing its climax. His ill-gotten profits are being used to build a weapon of untold destructive power.
Our anonymous source from the manufactory hinted at as much. Svarog is bold to have carried out his plan this far.
Death Snell? What's that?
Let the adults speak, my dear.
If we're to be wed, then there should be trust between us. How long do you intend on treating me like a child?
Very well. Tell her, Thalos.
If you insist, brother. This weapon combines the powerful explosives developed by Dragan with Esfrost's mastery of steelcraft. Although yet to be tested, this cannon is said to have the power to breach even Hyzant's walls. The goddess's shield would buckle under a single blast.
But the shield is impregnable.
I have heard nothing of this. Do you think so little of your general?
A general is to win me victory, as and when I command it.
Svarog's intent isn't to bring Hyzant to heel, however. He means to use the cannon against Brother. But the fool was so blinded by ambition that he never saw the strings guiding his every deed.
Fool that he may be, he served his purpose well. The cannon could not have been made without his engineers and Dragan's research. He will die secure in the knowledge that his bloodline contributed to the glory of Esfrost. Sadly, he shall not live to see his work completed. With it, we shall do what our forebears could not. The goddess's shield shall yield before Esfrost's might and ingenuity.
If we can even approach the walls, brother, the trade embargo will ensure that Hyzant is especially wary of our actions.
On the contrary, their focus will turn inward. With naught else to leverage their influence with, they will take measures to see that none of their precious salt escapes their borders. There may be some gnashing of teeth, to be sure, but it will only be in an attempt to hide their inner turmoil. Erica, muster a force and march to the Hierophant's palace at once. Deliver to Hyzant my final demands.
As you wish, brother. I shall gather what news I can of the Saintly Seven's machinations.
Thalas, you will remain in Glenbrook. Conduct yourself as if I had never left.
You hardly need to ask, brother.
That is all. Now go.
Even his own flesh and blood are but tools to be used and then discarded when their purpose is served.
He has faith only in himself. Such has ever been his way.
Alright, that looks like that's the end of chapter 12.
Esfrost and Glenbrook remained strong after declaring a trade stop with Hyzant. Gustadolf sends Erica to Hyzant to deliver his ultimatum, and dispatches an army to Glenbrook to increase the pressure on the Holy State. Hyzant, under the banner of Prince Roland, sends Minister Serenoa Wolfort of the Saintly Seven to prepare for retaliation. Softly but surely, Nozelia descends into war once more.
Those are the Archduke's wishes. I implore you not to forget that this is his final offer. Come to think of it, I heard that Wolfort was added to your saintly ranks. Where might he be?
I'm afraid I cannot answer that. The dealings of the Saintly Seven are our business, and ours alone.
How disappointing. I had hoped to congratulate him on his promotion.
That wretched woman. Those are hardly wishes.
Esfrost all but demands us open the source to restore our diplomatic relations.
The Duchy fears neither a lack of salt nor the goddess's shield. We can assume they have a plan in mind.
Then this was no more than a ploy to stall for time. We had best expedite House Wolfort's plans to take the capital. Minister Exham, send word to Minister Serenoa.
You wish to lend us Hyzant's new weapon?
Yes. It was a directive from the Holy One. The weapon is one Minister Lila developed in secret.
I compressed a vast quantity of magic into crystal form. We call this weapon Elfric. The blast crystals have yet to be perfected, but they can decimate a castle wall easily enough.
We thank you for your support.
Be forewarned that their power makes them unwieldy in an average battle.
They are not meant to be used on people. Furthermore, we are only giving you a single blast crystal.
Regardless, I'm certain it will come in handy while recapturing Whiteholm Castle.
Its incomplete nature makes it regrettably tricky to use, but Milo should be able to take care of that for you. Use them both wisely.
I am Milo. A dancer by trade, but assistant to the Saintly Seven on occasion. I shall serve you, Minister Serenoa, until we reclaim the capital.
You sure you'll be okay?
You needn't worry. It isn't my first time flirting with danger.
A Hyzantian spy?
Very likely.
The blast of the Elfric should help you catch the enemy unawares. Both my army and Minister Camcells will join in the attack. Can we entrust command to you, Minister Serenoa?
Most certainly. And the crystal will be key in our plan to reclaim Glenbrook.
Okay, I think I am going to end this one. And yeah, we'll pick up the walkthrough in the next one. All right, as always, hope the guide was helpful, and thank you for watching.